Welcome to War Diary Global, where truth burns brighter than propaganda. In today's explosive report, we uncover a chain of terrifying events erupting across Eastern Europe and the Middle East. Russian command implodes, nuclear warnings, echo, peace talks teeter. What we're witnessing may be the beginning of a global upheaval. 1. Internal collapse. Russian commanders order executions of their own. Wounded. Shocking radio intercepts released by Ukraine's military intelligence expose a dark truth. On the front lines, Russian Marine commanders are now executing their own wounded soldiers, an act of sheer desperation. There are no sick people in the Marine Corps, only the living and the dead. A brutal Russian voice orders, shoot him if he refuses to move forward. This isn't isolated madness, it's policy, a method of motivation born from chaos and disillusionment. The once elite 155th Marine Brigade, notorious for war crimes in Bucha and the Kyiv region, has become a graveyard of loyalty. Morale is collapsing. Fear is the only fuel keeping Russian troops moving. 2. Ukraine's deadliest strike. Russian HQ obliterated in Kursk in a calculated HIMARS precision strike. Ukraine has wiped out the command post of the 155th Brigade in Kursk, Russia. Among the dead, Colonel Ilya Sergeyev, Brigade Commander, Colonel Leonid Bashkidin, Chief of Staff, and over 20 officers. Another 30 soldiers were wounded. The Russian front line was left leaderless. Orders fell silent. Troops scattered. And this wasn't the first time. Back in February, a parade formation turned massacre when HIMARS rockets rained down, wounding even the commander Gudov himself. Ukraine's intelligence wasn't just good, it was surgical. 3. Panic in Russia. Kamikaze drones strike strategic chemical plant while commanders fell at the front. Terror struck the Russian home front in Nevinnomyssk. 37 Ukrainian kamikaze drones stormed Russian airspace, targeting a massive nitrogen chemical plant. Explosions lit up the night sky as fires erupted, sending shockwaves through local industry and government alike. Authorities claim no damage, but social media tells a different story. Locals filming blazing infernos, emergency sirens, and panic. In the streets, it's clear Ukraine's deep penetration drone tactics are now striking the very heart of Russia's infrastructure. For Putin's nuclear submarine message, a floating threat to the West, a move soaked in symbolism and menace. Vladimir Putin personally launched Russia's 8th Patriot-class nuclear submarine, armed with 16 Bulava intercontinental ballistic missiles, each warhead capable of reducing cities to ash. This wasn't just ceremony, it was a nuclear warning. With tensions boiling, Putin stood before cameras to remind the world Russia's nuclear triad is alive, armed, and watching. And more submarines are already under construction. 5. Syria on the brink. Chaos surrounds Russian Hmeimim airbase thousands of kilometers south. Syria is unraveling. Around Russia's key Hmeimim airbase, Bedouin tribes, jihadist factions, and Syrian militias clash for control. Civilians flood the area, some bribing guards to pitch tents outside the base. Then the unthinkable terrorist infiltration. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, once Al-Qaeda's arm, kidnapped civilians and threatened assaults. In response, Russian forces declared full combat readiness, blocked off roads, and began mass security sweeps. A second front is opening for Moscow far from the war in Ukraine. 6. Ukraine's new armor. Patriot air defense systems arrive in a massive game-changer. Ukraine just received the first wave of US-made Patriot missile systems, part of a $10 billion military aid package authorized by President Donald Trump. Germany and Norway also joined, pledging more batteries and funding. But Zelensky warns it's not enough. Ukraine still lacks long-range missile coverage, drone defense, and EW systems. With Russia upping its air attacks, these defenses may decide who controls the skies and the war. 7. The first whisper of peace. Or just a trap. For the first time in months, Russia and Ukraine are discussing a possible leader-level meeting. President Zelensky admits it's only the beginning. No concrete agenda yet, but the shift in tone is real. Is it a glimmer of hope, or a smokescreen for something more dangerous? History tells us, in war, peace talks are often the calm before the deadliest storms. The walls are cracking in Moscow and Syria. On every front, Russia is facing pressure like never before. From drones, from dissidents from within. But war isn't ending. It's mutating. Will Ukraine seize the moment? Will NATO act before it's too late? Or will the world watch, paralyzed, as the shadow of a larger war begins to rise? Stay with us. Subscribe to War Diary Global. The truth is under siege. But together, we will expose it.